Now, part 4 now. Part 4, this recording is about part 4. It is saying that we've got to state the conclusion number 2. All right, there's a conclusion number 1, which we did already in the previous recording. State conclusion number 2 and give a valid reason for your answer. Now, when it comes to concluding, you either conclude with the null or the alternative. One of them will be the conclusion. That's why you begin with a pair of hypotheses. You begin with a pair of persons debating. The null will say one thing and the alternative will say another. Then you go and you collect data, you process the data, and you compare what the data is saying with what the null is saying. Okay? And if you reject the null has lost the debate, you conclude with the alternative. But if you did not reject the null, then the null has won, it will be the conclusion. In this case, the decision is to reject or was to reject the null hypothesis. Because the null is saying that the population standard deviation is greater than or equal to 20. The data is saying, no, it is 10.55. There's a disagreement, so we have to reject the null. And as you can see, the alternative has won the debate. The population standard deviation is less than 20. 10.55 is less than 20. So here we have to conclude with the alternative, and we have to write it out in words. And we have to begin by saying based on the data, because another researcher might not just interview 10, not just take a sample of 10, might take a sample of 100 and come up with a different standard deviation, probably 42, for example. You never know. And then in that case, we will not be rejecting the null. So it's always good practice when concluding to begin with based on the data, based on what the data said. So therefore, based on the data, the population standard deviation, symbol sigma, or a descriptive measure of dispersion or the differences between the values is less than 20 centimeters.